I'm Matt Starnes, and I'm a multimedia journalist. I've produced content for print, television, radio, and internet publication. Between my work for the Daily Iowan and coursework in multimedia journalism, I've covered protests, attended press conferences, followed breaking news, and found new and creative ways to build features on important topics and people. But what first got me excited about journalism was covering breaking crime stories and following them through to completion. Above all, I care about being quick, clear, and correct. In this reel, you'll see one of my feature stories, as well as a few other strong examples of my work. Enjoy.
The first day I got here, the first thing I did was hop on my bike and go for a ride to the Hy-Vee to get groceries.
Jen Ruff is a first-year PhD candidate in psychology at the University of Iowa who lived in Philadelphia for the last few years and said she had to adjust to riding in Iowa City.
It was utterly terrifying because there are no marked bike lanes between me and the store. I had to ride on two fairly major roads, and I had no idea what the cars were going to do. It definitely seemed like the cars weren't used to having a bike ride with them in the lane.
Ruff's feeling of disharmony on the road between drivers and cyclists is echoed by many bikers, including Jordan Stout, who works for Jimmy John's delivering sandwiches on his bike.
When you're on the road, it's like you versus everybody else. You always have to pay attention when you have the right of way, because somebody's going to not pay attention, and they're in a giant, 1-ton piece of moving steel where yours just basically a body on like this 15-pound frame,
Now, biking in Iowa City in traffic can seem a little dangerous from time to time, but don't put the brakes on just yet. City planner Chris Ackerson told me there are several key infrastructure improvements that are making sharing the road in Iowa City easier and safer.
There's a buzz about Iowa City trying to become more bike friendly. If people are, interested in riding but hesitant to because of their safety concerns, they're not going to ride unless there's some sort of facility that's provided for them. And people just feel more comfortable in bike lanes.
Ackerson said that to make room for the new bike lanes, the Metropolitan Planning Organization is considering a series of road diets, which would reduce 4-lane roads like Clinton Street down to 3 lanes, allowing room for bike lanes to be installed on the side.
And we're looking into the possibility of doing those on Madison Street, Clinton Street, and First Avenue, and possibly Mormon Trek. So all of those corridors, especially Madison and Clinton, will probably get a lot of use because they're on campus.
Ackerson also said he hopes the infrastructure improvements will help ease any conflict that exists between cyclists and motorists on the road. But he said a bike lane isn't necessarily a recipe for courteous behavior behind the wheel or handlebars.
But I would say in general, there's some animosity, but I think for the most part, Iowa City and Iowans in general are pretty accommodating, and I think if cyclists ride like they're sharing the road, if they're courteous with the motorists reciprocate. So it's just a part of what comes along with trying to get people to share.
In this case, it seems, sharing the road is caring for the safety of others. Matt Starnes, Daily Iowan TV. Water. It's an important part of every morning routine. But Iowa City residents in the 900 block of Weber Street woke up to a surprise water outage this morning after the water main that services their block broke. Maintenance workers were called to the site of the break at around 6:30 this morning. By 8:15, the digging was well underway.
As soon as they get in here and say it's all clear, then we get down and dig, and it's pretty cut and dry. Get down to the pipe, clean it off, put a so-called Band-Aid wrap around it, seal it off, and then fill it in.
Now, maintenance workers here on the 900 block of Weber Street said that residents should have their water on within about a half hour of repairs being completed. They said the water main broke directly across the length of the pipe, which is an easy fix, a circumference break, as opposed to the linear pipe breaks that occur in the summer months. While some residents of southwest Iowa City were inconvenienced by the break, city workers said the pipe maintenance should have no impact on the safety of residents who consume the water, though they actively monitor the quality of the water when an event like this occurs.
No, right now that's not an issue. We do sample testing on the water twice after the break. Once here today, and then tomorrow we'll come back and take another sample.
Matt Starnes, Daily Iowan TV. It's a relatively new site at Coral Ridge Mall. In past years, female students who wanted to play hockey were stuck with co-ed adult leagues and weekend open play, often with few other women. But this winter, for the first time, the University of Iowa has a women's hockey team, and according to the players, it's a big improvement over previous options.
It's more fun because I'm on an actual girls team. Like when I played with the guys, I had to change in that first aid room right there. So I didn't get like the locker room experience, and now I'm actually making friends and stuff, so that's a lot better.
While the University of Iowa men's hockey team was established in 1974, this is the first year that a Hawkeye women's hockey team has competed. UI sophomore Justin Kripalani founded the team with some friends after managing the men's team last year and noting the absence of a competitive option for women.
Being that I managed the men's team last year, a lot of the coaches had brought up, it's weird, like, it's just the men's program, and that seems to be all that attracted, and got me thinking, there's usually a women's team, no matter what the sport is, so.
The girls are playing exhibition games this season as part of their bid to join the American Collegiate Hockey Association, a goal they hope to achieve in time for next season. In the meantime, Coach Chris Fye is optimistic in the face of the girls' historic first two games, consecutive losses to Iowa State.
Score-wise, not what we're looking for, but it's not always about what the score is, especially with the team that we're just putting together. We didn't know how the girls would work in a full game environment.
Now I'm standing here in the dark in Coral Ridge Mall because the women's hockey team has the last available ice time slot on Thursdays. They hope to improve their record after a rocky start against Iowa State with two games against Wisconsin November 23rd and 24th.
The girls are working hard. They're really pushing themselves out there. To me, I've done my job in getting us here. I just want to keep things running so that when I finally graduate, it's going to keep going without me. As long as we keep our heads up, we keep working hard, we're definitely going to have a shot in the coming years. Couldn't be more proud.
Matt Starnes, Daily Iowan TV.